Bill Timoney is back with us with a look at the upcoming Academy Awards.
That's right. When he's not with us, Bill writes about cinema for Videoscope magazine. So, Bill, today we're going to look at the Oscar category of Best Foreign Language Film. Now, we need to know, what do we need to know actually about that field? Because it's not something we're that familiar with.
Well, it is the type of category that if you're watching it in the United States, this is the category where you tend to go back to the snack bar. But in the rest of the world, the foreign language film category is extremely important. It's their best chance to get international recognition for their work. All 5 films in this category this time, they represent 3 continents. They're from Belgium, Israel, Canada, Poland, Iran, and they're all worthy of the nomination. And in fact, all 5 of them could win. So I think what you do when you don't really, maybe you haven't seen all the films, or maybe you've seen none of the films. So you look for that other reason to sort of kind of outthink the Academy. Well, what's the story behind the story? Like, for example, In Darkness is the entry from Poland, and it's directed by Agnieszka Holland, who is a wonderful director. In fact, she's received an Academy Award nomination before as a screenwriter. Now, her film is a true story about World War II, about the Holocaust. And you think, okay, the Academy likes those kinds of movies in the past. Think of Schindler's List, think of Sophie's Choice, even Europa, Europa, which is the film that Agnieszka Holland got the Oscar nomination for writing. So you might think then, okay, that's the insider angle. The Academy likes that.
In Darkness is going to be it?
No, I don't, and here's why. Because the other 2 films, and again, the Polish film, the film from Belgium, the Canada film, they're all great. But I think the race, you got to look at the Israel film. It's called Footnote. Now, it uses humor. It's not fair to call it a comedy, but it is the only one of the 5 films that uses humor. So certainly, you have to say that's in its favor. Also, Israel has had 11 nominations in this category, and it's 0 for 10. No other country has ever had so many nominations without ever winning the Oscar for foreign language film. So you might think maybe that one has the inside track, right? So, you know, the Academy might say, oh, maybe Israel is due.
So Footnote's going to get it.
No. See, here's what. The final one is from Iran. It's called A Separation. It is a really wonderful movie. It uses tension. It ratchets up suspense in such a fantastic way. And it gives you a glimpse into Iranian sort of middle-class society, which if you're outside of that country, you would never have that glimpse. So you look at maybe, let's say, politically. Right, the tensions, like Iran and America don't even have diplomatic relations. If Washington wants to get a message to Tehran, they got to send it through the Swiss embassy. Whereas America is Israel's strongest ally. So if you're a diplomat or a political leader voting for this award, you're going to give it to Israel instead of Iran. But I think Iran is going to get it because the people voting are not diplomats, they're filmmakers. And here's the last point about that. This film, A Separation, is also nominated in the Best Screenplay category. And that almost never happens. You got to go back to the late 40s when this category first started as an honorary category for The Bicycle Thief to get an Oscar nomination, not only as foreign language film, but also for screenplay. So I think that's the signal that the Academy thinks this movie is really special. So come Oscar night, my pick is A Separation.
Well, let me ask you, does the Academy, who are largely Americans, look through the prism of politics when they look at foreign films? I mean, is it hard to disassociate yourself from being an American and looking at these films as purely art?
Well, I think there are times when it has happened, but there are also times when it goes exactly opposite what you might expect. And I think this is going to be that time. A Footnote from Israel certainly could win. The Polish film In Darkness could certainly win. And you would think, yeah, the last film would be the Iranian film. But I'm saying it's going to be that. And this is the time that the Academy disassociates itself from political issues and focuses purely on art and cinema craft.
Okay, stop the presses.
Okay.
The Artist has 11 nominations.
11 nominations.
It's a French film. Okay. Why is it not in this category?
Very simple. It turns out it is not a French film. Yes, the director and the writer are French, the stars are French, most of the financing came from France. Well, here's the category. See, the category for foreign language film is a little bit different from all the other categories. Sure, you got 5 nominees like all the others, but you have to be 51% of your dialogue has to be in a language other than English. Now, The Artist is a silent film. There is no dialogue. But if you've seen it, you know that's not quite true. 99.9% of the dialogue is silent, but there are 2 or 3 lines of dialogue at a very special point in the movie, and they're in English. So it's disqualified on that level. Number 2 is your film to be submitted and to qualify must be shot completely outside the United States. and the artist is not only a film about Hollywood, it's completely filmed in Hollywood. So it's disqualified there. The third thing is that your country has to submit it. Unlike all the other categories, the Oscars just say to different countries, submit us one film for consideration.
nation
So
puts it
it's,
out.
yeah, so you have to put together like a blue ribbon panel to decide. So when you submit the film, you have to submit who was on that panel.
Right.
So when the Academy gets the list, if it's all your family, you're going to be disqualified. But so like say for example, when a couple of years ago, La Vie en Rose got several nominations, including one for Marianne Cotillard playing Edith Piaf.
Sure.
But it wasn't submitted in the foreign language category because France itself decided not to submit it. They decided to choose another film.
Final question here.
Yeah.
What makes you such a buff on foreign films?
Well, I've always loved foreign films, as much as I love every other kind of movie. I also work as a voice actor, a dubber, and I direct dubbing sessions too. I had a great opportunity to do the English language version of Il Postino, and I also directed Olympia Dukakis when she did her performance as the aunt in that movie. I was on the English voice cast for the dub version of Kolya from Czechoslovakia, which won the Oscar several years ago. And most recently, it won't be qualifying for Oscar consideration, but last year I did voice work in a French film that's a French zombie film called La Horde, The Horde.
So you get a perspective that most of us don't ever get to see.
Yeah, you get to see, people, film unites everybody. So at a certain level, people are the same everywhere, which I think is why A Separation is going to win come Oscar night.
All right, we're going to hold you to that bet.
And I'm sure you'll be back
Love
as
to.
we do a review on it.
I'd be delighted.
Thank you so much, Bill.
In other news, NASA astronauts